Hello and welcome to this Domo Palooza session on elevating your organization's data-driven culture with strong data governance practices. My name is Karl Altern and my role is Principal Program Manager for Data Governance. I've been at Domo now for about 5 years and working with data for over a decade. I spend much of my time here at Domo working with customers to understand and resolve their governance challenges. Many of these are Domo specific, but some, such as data culture, are technology agnostic and can apply to organizations using any analytics technology. In this talk, we'll explore what data culture is, why it's important, and how to identify and measure it in your organization. We'll then examine real customer stories where effective data governance led to significant improvements in data culture, resulting in better business outcomes. Finally, we'll discuss actionable steps that you can take to improve the data culture of your organization, whether you're starting from scratch or seeking to enhance an existing program. By embracing these practices, you can cultivate a strong data culture and drive success in your organization. To start with, I'd like to talk to you about the importance of building a data-driven culture in your organization and the role that data governance plays in achieving this goal. As we all know, data is the lifeblood of any modern organization. It's the key to unlocking insights, identifying trends, and making informed decisions. However, many organizations struggle to leverage data effectively due to a lack of data-driven culture and proper data governance practices. Data culture refers to the values, behaviors, and attitudes within an organization that prioritize the use of data to inform decision-making and achieve business objectives. A strong data culture is essential for organizations to leverage data effectively. In order to build a strong data culture, organizations need to establish a framework for collecting, analyzing, and sharing data throughout the organization. To understand the importance of data culture, let's look at the data life cycle. Data is collected, stored, and transformed, then analyzed using various analytical techniques to generate insights. These insights can then be used to make informed decisions that drive business outcomes. Without a strong data culture, organizations can struggle to make the most of their data, leading to poor decision-making and missed opportunities. As an abstract concept, data culture is innately difficult to measure or quantify. It is a broad and complex idea that will mean different things to different individuals and organizations. For the purposes of this presentation, I will share with you a tool we use here at Domo to help communicate and measure data. First, we split data culture into two measurable quantities: the capability to execute data-driven decisions and the desire to make data-driven decisions. Each of these can then be further broken down into attributes that influence data-driven culture. To make informed choices, organizations need the capability to execute data-driven decisions. This requires technical skills to transform and visualize data, enabling better insights into what the data is revealing. Access to trusted, clean, and secure data is also crucial for informed decision-making. It's critical to have data that can be relied upon to be accurate, timely, and relevant. This data should be stored in a way that ensures it is accessible and secure, whilst also being governed by clear rules to ensure that it is used appropriately. Lastly, a governed distribution model is needed to grant access to data as and when it is needed. This means that employees can access the data they need to make informed decisions, while also ensuring that sensitive data is protected from unauthorized access. To establish a strong data culture, organizations must also cultivate a desire to make data-driven decisions. This means valuing data as a critical asset and using it to inform decision-making at all levels. When people across the organization have trust in the data, they are more likely to use it to drive decision-making. Trust in the data comes from ensuring its accuracy, reliability, and security. Individual data literacy is also essential for building a strong data culture. When organizations have the skills to analyze and interpret data, they can make better decisions based on data insights. Executive sponsorship is needed to create a culture that values data and empowers employees to use it. When senior leaders prioritize data-driven decision-making and actively support efforts to build a data culture, it becomes a core part of the organization's DNA. In summary, data is a critical asset for organizations, and to gain the most out of it, a strong data culture is required. When thinking about data culture, it can help to think of it as the capability to execute and the desire to make data-driven decisions. Now that we understand the components of a data culture, we can use them to measure an organization's data culture maturity. Here we have the data culture quadrant. Increasing along the x-axis is the organization's desire to make data-driven decisions, and along the y-axis is the organization's capability to execute those data-driven decisions. We can then separate the chart into 4 quadrants. In the first chart, we have emerging data practitioners. Organizations in this quadrant may not yet see the value of using data to drive decision-making, or they may lack the resources or expertise to do so effectively. They may be using intuition or experience to make decisions, rather than data. In the next quadrant, we have insightful explorers. This quadrant represents organizations that have a strong desire to make data-driven decisions, but may not yet have the capabilities. They may be starting to invest in data tools and technologies, but are not yet realizing the full potential of these investments. In the third quadrant, we have data-savvy traditionalists. This quadrant represents organizations that have a high capability of making data-driven decisions, but may be more conservative in their approach. These traditionalists value the importance of data, but may still rely on more traditional decision-making processes. Finally, in the last quadrant, we have the data-driven leaders. This quadrant represents organizations that are both highly capable of making data-driven decisions and are strongly committed to doing so. These leaders use data as a strategic asset and prioritize the use of analytics to drive their decision-making processes. Now is a good time to take a moment and consider where your organization fits on the data culture quadrant. The data culture quadrant is a tool that can be used to identify your organization's desire and capability to make data-driven decisions. By separating this chart into 4 quadrants, your organization can assess where they currently stand on the data culture maturity spectrum. It's important for organizations to evaluate their position on this quadrant to determine where they may need to invest resources to improve their data capabilities and stay competitive in the long term. We've already talked a lot about data culture. Now let's quickly talk about data governance. This chart was sourced from the 2022 State of Data Governance and Empowerment, a great white paper that discusses modern data governance, and the question for this chart was, how does your organization define data governance? I've mapped each of these aspects of data governance to an already discussed part of data culture. Looking down the list, access, literacy, trust, and delivery make many appearances as they are critical parts of any governance plan. This chart highlights just how broad and complex data governance can be. It's also important to note that the data governance landscape is constantly evolving, and what may not be relevant to an organization now could become relevant in the future. Therefore, it is essential to establish a solid foundation for data governance that is flexible and adaptable to changing circumstances. By doing so, your organization can ensure that they are prepared for any new data governance challenges that may arise and are well positioned to take advantage of emerging data opportunities. During the next section of this presentation, I will walk you through several data engagements with Domo customers and how these engagements impacted their data culture. So 40 Winks is a well-known Australian bedding and mattress retailer that offers a wide range of bedding products including mattresses, bed frames, pillows, sheets, and other accessories. When 40 Winks started their data journey with Domo, they possessed advanced data skills but were inexperienced with Domo. 40 Winks used a number of software tools to help run their business, but the data from these tools was difficult to access and manage effectively. Moreover, limited governance was in place to manage access to this data. Their overall capability to execute data-driven decisions was low. 40winks did, however, have a desire to improve their ability to make data-driven decisions. Otherwise, why would they have purchased Domo in the first place? Their leadership recognized that their decision-making process was lacking the insights from data and were moving to rectify that. When 40winks joined Domo, our challenge was to deliver a series of sales, executives, and store insights dashboards using a standard governance framework. To overcome this challenge, Domo implemented a traction training engagement approach. The traction training framework entails identifying the precise needs of the business for leveraging data to inform decision making. From there, the process involves reverse engineering the key business questions that enable those decisions, determining the most effective visualizations to answer those questions, and identifying the pertinent data to drive those visualizations. When we deliver a traction engagement, we train the customer with each step of the journey. So not only do they have a good understanding of our methodology, but they also have the technical skills they need to further implement use cases themselves. The dashboards, data, and data transformations are delivered in a well-governed manner using industry best practices. By engaging with Domo Consulting, 40winks were able to increase the technical Domo skills of their team, increase access to data that, although previously existed, wasn't fully leveraged, and implement a data delivery model to accurately and effectively deliver insights to their users. These in turn increase data trust and data literacy by granting 40winks users access to dashboards they knew was accurate and verified. Additionally, an executive dashboard was created to meet the needs of the executives, improving their sponsorship, and a separate store-level dashboard was created to entice store owners to contribute their data in exchange for data access and benchmarking opportunities. The traction engagement was able to not only resolve the challenges they faced, but serve to greatly improve their overall data culture. The next customer story is a large retailer from Southeast Asia. This customer has been with Domo for many years and has a long track record of successfully using Domo to provide new insights and solve their business problems. This customer is a great example of an organization that already had a prominent data culture, but were able to push the bar even higher. In this case, they were preparing to provide analytics to a new part of the business, but also took the opportunity to explore new Domo governance capabilities in an effort to increase governance efficiencies and, in turn, allow their center of excellence to work on platform innovation activities, such as building new dashboards, automating data workflows, and improving data collaboration and sharing across the organization. This customer engaged Domo to deliver a governance engagement. During the course of the governance engagement, several potential areas of improvement were surfaced. This organization had a high level of self-service, which is fantastic when considering engagement, collaboration, and the potential for innovation. But it does create the risk that users may use different criteria and definitions for the same metric. A common example we see at other customers is the revenue calculation. This revenue may require specific filters to be applied that some users aren't aware of, leading to two different revenue calculations giving different answers. To mitigate this risk, the organization implemented a data catalog, leading to the alignment of business metrics and increased data trust. The data catalog itself was also able to improve data literacy by providing centralized and organized repository of information about available datasets, making it easier for individuals and teams to discover, understand, and access relevant data. Domo Sandbox allowed for the implementation of a dev and prod environment, separating newly developed draft content from trusted content used to make business decisions. By doing so, overall data trust was increased as users knew that they were only making decisions from trusted and verified content. Data delivery was also increased as self-service users had their own instance to innovate and experiment in, completely separated from the decision makers. Lastly, federated data governance was implemented, and data ownership was transferred from the Center of Excellence to the business units. The primary benefit of these two actions was to reduce the workload on the Center of Excellence, but other secondary benefits included increased data skills and data literacy from the business units, as they now had to look after their own content, increased trust from the business units, as they now had direct control over the data resources they were using, and increased data access, as the federated data governance model made it easier for users to access data they needed for informed decision making. So this has been a quick summary of 2 engagements with these customers. Each customer had their own unique challenges, but by using a structured governance framework, we were able to resolve their challenges and improve their data culture. So now that we've covered some customer use cases that display various approaches for influencing your organization's culture for the better, I'm going to share with you some general approaches and ideas you can implement to also influence data culture. Let's start with influencing capability to execute data-driven decisions. First up is data skills, and this includes both Domo and general technical skills. Formalized education classes are a great place to start for any users. Here at Domo, we have a wide range of training options available for you to train your employees with, including card building, transforming data, or administering Domo. Like with 40 Winks, engaging Domo to deliver a consulting engagement is also a great way to train your team in Domo fundamentals and best practices. And finally, a hackathon is a great way to not only raise data skills, but also foster innovation, collaboration, and most importantly, they're fun. Next up is data access. A great place to start with data access is just loading in more data sources, especially if you have self-service users who love to experiment and innovate. If you're already bringing in all your business data, consider third-party data sources, such as the World Bank, market research firms, or e-commerce platforms. By enriching your core data with new data, your organization may develop new insights and identify patterns that were not previously visible. To improve your organization's data quality, you can perform a data quality analysis. In Domo, this can be done on the data preview screen or through a data quality analysis workflow. Use the analysis results to fix data issues and improve overall data quality. For data delivery, creating a smart data delivery system using groups can save your center of excellence considerable effort, while also improving the ease at which your users access their data. A nice way to also automate content delivery to your users is through the smart use of landing pages in Domo. Many customers have configured landing pages with links to important resources such as relevant dashboards, recent news, and platform usage guides. You could also use Domo Stats to create a catalog of dashboards, improving the accessibility and usability of your organization's data. Now let's look at improving the desire to make data-driven decisions. First up is data trust. When your organization is in the practice of developing lots of new dashboards, either due to self-service or a fast-paced working environment, it is critical to have a system by which your dashboard consumers can distinguish between draft and trusted content. You can achieve this using either Domo Sandbox or Domo certifications. Smart usage of roles can also be used to ensure untrained users can't create or share unverified content. And more generally, a great way to raise data trust in your organization is to broadcast your successes internally. A great mechanism for this is a show and tell day, where you invite employees from your organization to view your dashboards and talk about the value they bring. For data literacy, the first is easiest. Create dashboards that provide real business value. By doing so, you can help end users develop a better understanding of how data can be used to drive business decisions, and how dashboards can be used to visualize and communicate data effectively. Next up is training. Once again, Domo offers training for this, as do many third parties in the market. I will highlight, though, that an important part of data literacy is being critical of data. This involves understanding its limitations and potential biases, as well as recognizing the importance of context and understanding the underlying assumptions and methods used to generate it. Building a data catalog will improve data literacy by providing your users with a centralized and accessible inventory of available data sources, along with important metadata and context that can help them understand the purpose, scope, and quality of each dataset. Finally, some methods for building executive sponsorship. An executive level dashboard that demonstrates the benefits your analytics brings to your organization can help to ensure key stakeholders understand the value it brings and properly allocate resources to further its success. Much of this information is available in Domo stats. For example, a usage dashboard could demonstrate the overall adoption of the platform, which could be used to show its impact and value. Another effective strategy to enhance executive sponsorship is to share your accomplishments widely across your organization. By showcasing the successes you have achieved through your analytics initiatives, you can draw attention to the value that your team is delivering and help build momentum for future projects. When executives see concrete examples of the positive impact that your work is having on the organization, they are more likely to become invested in your efforts and provide the support and resources you need to continue driving successes. These are just a few of the approaches your organization can take to improve its data culture. I wouldn't try all of them at once, but really think about where your organization fits on the data culture quadrant and where you want to be in the future. Then identify the strategies that align with your goals and capabilities and develop a roadmap for implementation. It's important to start small and build momentum over time, rather than trying to tackle too much too soon. Additionally, don't forget to measure and track your progress along the way and continually refine your approach based on what works best for your organization. In closing, data is the lifeblood of any modern organization. It is the key to unlocking insights, identifying trends, and making informed decisions. If you want to maximize the impact of your data, your organization will need a strong and pervasive data culture, supported by a robust data governance framework that ensures data is managed effectively and efficiently throughout its entire lifecycle. With the right strategies and approach, you can create a data-driven organization that is better positioned to succeed in today's complex and rapidly changing business landscape. So this was the first of what you can expect to be many data culture sessions that we'll be holding this year. Now, for those of you who can't wait to find out more, you can contact me directly on my email listed here, or you can contact your account team to find out more. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found this session useful.